Broadcasting live from the shack in scenic Bellflower, California, it's the Crossfader Show. With your hosts Jose Heredia and DJ Johnny Aftershock.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. This is Jose Heredia with the Crossfader Show. Welcome, everybody. This is going to be episode number 9, DJ Authors. We're going to go ahead and do our introductions. To my immediate front, we have DJ Johnny Aftershock.
How's it going, folks?
And to my left, we have a new guest here, in-studio guest, DJ Sam House.
Hey, everybody.
And on Skype, we have one of our guests that we're going to interview today about our show topic, our DJ Authors topic, Mr. Robert Lindquist.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. And again, congratulations for the good job you guys are doing putting the Crossfader show together.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now, today, we'll be talking to 3 separate DJs who have written books. But first, we have Robert Lindquist, who's written one of the first books ever on DJ and mobile DJing. And also, he's also the co-founder of Mobile Meet Magazine. So, Robert, how did it start for you? Where did you get your inspiration to start writing books?
Well, at the time I wrote the very first spinning, was about 19. This is ancient history at this point, 87 or 88. The idea of running a DJ service back then was rather, a new business idea. There were a few DJ services around, but nowhere near the number that there are today. And back then I was maybe doing 40 or 50 jobs a year and would often get asked, how does somebody get started doing this? So the more I heard that, the more I started to think that there was a need for something, maybe it was a need that I could fill. And there was really no standard format for being a DJ back then, so it seemed that there was a huge need, first of all, to just kind of explain how a business could be put together, and secondly, a huge need for knowledge regarding the sound gear and how to set up a system, how to make it sound good. So it was really all about just putting into print what had worked for me, what to say, what to play, how to make it sound good, and hopefully by the end of the day, how to put some money in the bank.
Right. And did you get a lot of people to read your book, or did you sell a lot of books? I apologize, I've never read your book, but DJ Johnny Aftershock says he has.
Yep.
Oh, well, that's
Loved
good.
it.
That's good. There were actually I think there were either 5 or 6 different versions of it. As I mentioned, the very first one was just called Spinnin',
Right.
and that came out in 1987. And back then I pretty much had to self-publish because there wasn't really a publisher that was interested in picking up a book on running a mobile DJ service. And in order to do that, I had to come up with the money for it. So I sold advertising in the back of the book.
Oh, good.
So the first book, Spinnin', and that was followed by Spinnin' 2000, both had fairly extensive advertising sections in the back, which basically financed putting the book together. So I probably drifted from your question there a little bit. But
no worries, it's still interesting what you're talking about.
So there were I think the first 3 or 4 versions actually had advertising sections in the back, and the most recent one, the one that you have up on the screen there, that came out in 1997, and by then I had gotten away from that because we had Mobile Beat going, and most of the advertising was going into Mobile Beat.
And so, as soon after you wrote the book, or a little bit time later, you started Mobile Beat, and how did that start?
Well, as I mentioned, the first spin-in was 1987, and the second one was 1989, which was 2 years before Mobile Beat. At that time, I was actually writing an article for DJ Times magazine, and doing an ad trade with them. I wrote a column for them, and in return for that, they advertised my book. And I also went to the first DJ Times convention down in Atlantic City with a few, I can't remember, a few hundred copies of the book. But the first version of Spinnin', I think we sold 3,000 copies of. The second one was in 2 or 3 different printings, and it was about 10,000. Overall, there were just about 30,000 copies sold over a 12-year period.
I see. Was it a sole endeavor? Did you do this by yourself, or did you have people that helped you along?
Well, the very first one I did on my own. I had originally, oddly enough, hired a writer to help me, which was kind of strange because at the time my main gig was as a freelance copywriter. But somebody convinced me that I needed to hire a writer, so I did, and he came back with the most worthless crap that I've ever seen in my life. So he had no concept of what a DJ was or what I was trying to get him to write. So I fired him and went to the library and just started studying how-to books and tried to figure out how to write a how-to book. And basically, I noticed that most of them had a lot of things in common. Most of them had 12 chapters, and I just started looking at different how-to books, basically built an outline on that, and then just started filling in the blanks with the different things that I would do at a DJ gig until I finally ended up with something that I could take to print.
Wow. And so you brought it to an editor or a publishing house, or did somebody say, hey, we like what you're doing and we want to go ahead and pick you up?
Well, no, I know Stacy had success doing that, but at the time I did it, no. I talked to several publishers, and they didn't really have any interest or they weren't willing to take the risk at the time of publishing a book for mobile DJs. So, as I said, I sold advertising in the back, raised enough money to publish it myself.
Oh, wow. So this is all your endeavor, your business of kind of trying to sell advertising in exchange to try to raise money for the making of the book.
That's correct, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, my background was all in communications, broadcasting, and communications going back to when I was 16 years old, so I'd had a lot of experience in writing and ad sales and things of that nature.
Wow. So in writing the book and the whole experience, has that helped you as a DJ, as a writer? Has it improved your life?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that happened was when the first book came out, and again, I think it was '87. I sent some press releases out to the local newspapers, and one of them published a real nice story, a full-page spread with pictures and the whole thing. And my DJ business quadrupled in a matter of like 2 months. I went from doing maybe 40 or 50 jobs a year to actually having to hire on 2 other people to help me handle the additional business. So that was
wow.
That was the nice thing, that had a real great effect. And secondly, I think if it hadn't been for Spinnin', there wouldn't have been a Mobile Beat, because basically Mobile Beat or Spinnin' was the template that we used when we launched a Mobile Beat, as far as what to say, what to play, how to make it sound good, and how to try to make some money doing it. That's what Mobile Beat was in the beginning, and still is pretty much to this day. And the other thing was, because of the ad sales experience and because of all the contacts I had built up in selling advertising for Spinnin', we already had a real nice base of potential advertisers for Mobile Beat. So, I think that was the main thing. If Spinnin' hadn't occurred, or if I hadn't been motivated to do that, certainly Mobile Beat would have never existed in the form that it does today, anyway.
Wow. So in your time at Mobile Beat, because I know you passed it on to Ryan. And,
that's correct, yeah.
How was it as far as the atmosphere when you were doing the Mobile Beat? Did you have a staff of writers, or editors that were working for you, or you were just pretty much a one-man show?
Well, it was myself at first, and then Mike Monacorso joined just as we were getting the first issue ready to go to press, and he came on board to help me with some of the ad sales and the administrative stuff. And of course, he went on to make a great contribution to Mobile Beat in putting together the DJ shows in Vegas and the other DJ shows that we did. But for the most part, the first 4 or 5 years were, myself and maybe a handful of other people that contributed some different articles. And usually people that we met at different DJ shows, we'd get to talking with them, and if it sounded like they had something interesting that they could throw into the pot, well, we'd ask them to join us.
I see. Wow, that's very interesting to see the early stages of Mobile Beat, and look what it's become now. It's just an amazing endeavor. And as far as if you have any advice to DJs who are thinking about writing books, do you have anything that you want to share with them as far as help or tips?
Well, I think the most important thing that I learned the hard way was that distribution is everything. And it was all fun and games putting together the book, but when all of a sudden this UPS truck showed up with 50 cases of books, each one with probably 50 books in it, and all of a sudden I thought to myself, now what do I do with it?
Now you got to sell them, right?
Right, now you got to sell them, and that was really a rude awakening when I ended up with that, and that's when, for probably 2.5, 3 years, my wife and I, on a regular basis, maybe once a month or every other month, we'd be off to Chicago or someplace to a DJ show, any place that any retailer was doing something. We'd set up our table and sell books.
Wow. And so
And then that was how we met the Canadian DJs, and Dennis Sampson, of course, who joined me as a co-writer in Spin in 2000. Dennis handled a lot of the business-oriented content for that, which I didn't have in the original Spin-In. So, I appreciated his content in that. And that also really widened and broadened the Canadian audience for the book and for the magazine.
Oh, great. And what are your endeavors right now? What are your projects that you're focusing on right now?
Well, my main thing is I'm the Minister of Network Operations for the Live to Play Network. It's www.l2pnet.com. And we also do a print publication, but we're heavily involved in a lot of social networking for musicians as well as DJs. We do a lot of gear reviews and a lot of information on new products. And basically, it's mostly web-oriented, but that's my main thing at this point. And as I mentioned, we also do a print publication on that as well, which we distribute about 12,000 copies 4 times a year.
Wow. I'm looking at the website right now. It's a pretty nice website. It has a blog. It has a lot of features as far as for musicians and singers. Is that correct?
Yep, singers and a lot of the gear, because, as you know, a lot of DJs use band-oriented gear. We cover a lot of band stuff there. We've got Serwin Vegas speakers, Mackie, a lot of the other major companies are advertisers with us on the L2P network.
Excellent. One of my favorite features is a little radio player from live365.com. And I was listening to the music. It's very interesting, a wide mix of styles, but songs that you wouldn't hear, like independent labels, right?
It is. And basically what we actually sort of formatted that after was AM radio from the 60s, when you could turn on a radio station and hear almost any kind of music. So we tried to put that together with a very, very broad mix of music. And again, it's all people that have put together their own CD or sent us music that we liked, and we put it up. They're in rotation for 3 to 6 months, depending. And the interesting thing about Live 365 is it's like a reality show. People can actually vote songs off of there.
Oh, really?
So, So what'll happen is I can go in there and I can actually tell during which songs most people either came, when people tuned out the station. So I can take that song off and put something else on. Very
interesting. So you could really moderate and change the way the channel is.
Oh yeah, it's quite exciting. I mean, all of this online stuff is extremely exciting.
Cool. All right, Robert. Well, thank you very much for being on our guest. I wish we had more time to talk to you and talk more deeper about the history of Mobile Beat and your first books. But I really appreciate your time you've given us today.
And it was my pleasure, Jose. Best of luck to all of you guys there.
Thank you very much, Robert. Everybody say goodbye.
Bye, Robert.
Okay, take care, Robert. All right. So you said you read that book,
Yeah.
Spinning. What did you think about it?
It was pretty cool. I mean, I just recently got it. I probably got it maybe about 6 months ago. So,
wow.
Of course, it was a little outdated, but it's still really, really good information as far as just pounding the pavement and getting business and having the proper setups and whatnot. So,
Perfect.
Good book.
So speaking of Mobile Beat, we would like to mention that Mobile Beat has a DJ University. Did you ever know that?
I did not know that.
Yes. If you go to website mobilebeat.com, there is a little section there called the DJ University. Let's see if I can bring it up on the website. But the cool thing about it is it gives you a lot of advice, just like Spinning 2000, the way Robert Lindquist started. If you want to talk about karaoke, if you're new to karaoke, I know you said you wanted to get into the karaoke.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a karaoke college, and there's some articles on how to get started, even advice to the more professional, seasoned DJs. So you should always check that out, mobilebeat.com, DJ University.
Very cool. What about you, Sam? Any books have you ever taken on any books, checked out any books as far as...
I have Stacy's book.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was one of the first books that, when I started my business, I was like, okay, let me make sure I'm doing things right here. But by the point that I had bought her book, I think I was doing most of the things that were in her book.
Awesome. Yeah.
But it made it kind of clear that okay, I'm doing the right things.
Yeah, I think she has the mobile DJ handbook, and she has the DJ sales and marketing handbook.
Yeah, I think I got the mobile DJ
DJ ones. Yeah, that's the most popular one out there.
Speaking of Stacy, we're going to try to get a hold of her so we can talk to her next.
Let's do it.
And she's got a website in case you're wondering how to get a hold of Stacy. And Stacy's website right here is stacyzemon.com.
Mm-hmm.
And she has another website, which I'm pretty happy about, is promobiledj.com.
Pro Mobile DJ. That's where I got the book from.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. So, I started reading it, and I am liking it, too.
Good stuff.
We're going to try to get Stacy on right now. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty, of course, as always, any show. And tell me about other books that you've read. There was a book that I have. It's called The Green Book. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. I showed it to you yesterday.
That was awesome.
And for those of you who don't know, The Green Book is a book that is listing a directory of all the songs arranged by subject matter. So if, let's say, your client is having a party and their theme is football. So what you do is you go into the Green Book, look under football, and it give you all the songs that are about football or have football mentioned in their title. So I think that was a pretty awesome book. I wish I could show it to you guys. I brought it in, but I didn't get a chance to bring it in.
Oh, it's about yay fat. It's about yay big. It's really cool. Really
yeah,
cool
it's
book.
pretty fat. So again, we're trying to get a hold of Stacy and see if she can get us on Skype. And any questions on the chat room right now?
Yeah, we had some questions for Robert, but I said, we're kind of stuck for time, so we'll go ahead and just redirect those over to Stacy.
Excellent.
And if we can't get a hold of Stacy, we could probably just move on to the video segment.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and start our video segment. So what we did is we did an homage to Reading Rainbow. Who remembers Reading Rainbow, right? Well, I always thought that the book reviews were pretty cool, the kids showing, what they liked about the book and stuff like that. So we did the same thing, and here's a little video segment of our little Reading Rainbow montage or little homage.
There you go.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go anywhere, friends to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. A reading rainbow.
Hi, my name is Jose Heredia, and I just read a book called Wedding Horror Stories and How to Avoid Them, written by Tony Bartel. In this book, Tony explains and he shares with us the most horrific wedding stories ever told. A lot of stories involving the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, the groom's father. It's just a lot of funny stories, and the way he explains it is really fun too. Especially the one of the story of Ray Martinez in Marineland. I thought that was really good. So if you really want to read a nice book that's full of laughter, read Tony Bartel's Wedding Horror Stories and How to Avoid Them. I give it 2 thumbs up. Hi, this is Jose Heredia. I read another really cool book called The Best Wedding Reception Ever, written by Peter Mary. Peter Mary has written a really good book giving you lots of great ideas to incorporate in your wedding reception. This book was written mainly to brides, but pretty much anybody in the wedding industry can read it. A lot of great ideas, unique ideas, stuff that I didn't even think about. There was one really cool idea he shared, where the groom danced with his mom a very special song. But what he didn't know is that the mom had sent Peter a cassette of him singing that same song when he was just 3 years old. I thought that was a very cool idea. So if you want to incorporate some new type of things into your wedding reception, please pick up this book, The Best Wedding Reception Ever by Peter Mary. I give it 3 thumbs up. Hi, this is Jose Heredia again. Another book I just read, just yesterday, is a book called Mind Your Business by Larry Williams. In this book, Larry talks about his life in the DJ business career. He has a lot of neat little anecdotes and stories that he shares with you so that you can incorporate into your business and make it better. Larry's very good at the word, and he's very insightful. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the DJ business, and if you want to learn more about Larry himself, please pick up this book called Mind Your Business by Larry Williams. I give it 2 thumbs and a half. There you go. That's a half right.
Sometimes you really do have to eat your words. I'll see you next time.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow.
Hello. Okay, now we got sound. Oh, this has just
hey.
been wonderful. Hello, Raymar?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, finally, it's working.
Okay, we're good.
All right, boys and girls, I apologize for the technical difficulties. We've been trying to get a hold of Stacy. She was going to be next, and we just couldn't get a hold of her. But we have Raymar on the line on Skype right now, so we're just going to go ahead and try Raymar for right now, and then try back Stacy later on. So Raymar, how you doing?
You know, I'm doing awesome. It's a beautiful day here in Goodyear, Arizona.
Yes, absolutely. So you used to be here in Southern California, and then you moved to Arizona. Is that right?
I did. I had my business out there in Southern California for 30 years. I still have my business out there. I do a number of events out there in California, thanks to my wife, because she works for an airline, so I get to fly for free. And,
Nice.
so I've been able to continue on with my following that I've had there for over 30 years.
Great. Now, Raymar, you wrote 2 books. Tell us about your experiences with writing these books.
Well, the first book was titled Performance Beyond Expectation, and that was written shortly after the death of my granddaughter. My little granddaughter was 2 weeks old when she passed away, and she inspired me to write because when she was on her deathbed, she looked at me right in the eyes. Her eyes were wide open and looked at me, and she communicated to me through her eyes that she needed help and she was in a lot of pain. And it just inspired me because I figured that if a child who could not speak a word from her mouth but yet could communicate through her eyes, then why can't colleagues such as DJs communicate with each other? Husband and wife who are contemplating divorce, or 2 countries that are contemplating war. And as long as there's dialogue, there's hope. And I was also motivated when I was helping the folks at Hurricane Katrina, the victims out there, and I saw a sign on the Astrodome wall, and it said, "If you've lost hope, you've lost everything." And so I haven't given up hope on the DJ industry. It's just that too many egos get in the way, and that's what's hindering us. And that's what inspired me to write my first book, to try to help them to communicate with each other.
Wow, and you bring a lot of interesting topics to the book, like ethics and business practices, and of course, your experiences with the passing of your granddaughter. And how did you come about writing the book? Did you have help as well, or was this a sole adventure?
You know, through a lot of prayer and meditation and just conversations with God, just from my heart, it was just really interesting because when people go through a period of mourning, they don't know how to express it, and just as several weeks and months that followed that, there were many thoughts that went through my head, and I didn't know how to express them to help me with my grieving process, which apparently caused me to write. And it took me 3 months to write that book. I wrote it somewhat in a hurry, but I've revised that book now, brought it up to 2010 specifications, so bring it up to date to help the DJs with their businesses.
I see. Very good. And writing the book, did it help you out in your performance, in publicity? Did it advance your career?
Well, I can't say that it's helped advance my career, but what it does do by being an author, it actually lends credibility, as an expert in the field. This is my 36th year as a professional DJ entertainer.
Wow, 36 years.
36 years, and I'm still having fun. But the thing about it, Jose, is that again, when you can add author to your resume, it adds credibility that you know what you're talking about. You could, when you tell that to your brides, you have it on your website and so on and so forth. It actually just helps them out because they realize that, hey, this guy does know what he's talking about. So I could say it could give a little bit of an advantage.
Wow, that's great. And did that eventually lead for you? I mean, you're a great guy as it is, and everybody admires you. But did that kind of influence somehow being the DJ Hall of Fame inductee, and then eventually working with Crossmix? And tell us your other endeavors that you're into.
First of all, I started out with the ADJA, which I was the vice president of the Southern California chapter. Ken Knotts from Southern California in Anaheim, he started the chapter based on him talking with the late Bruce Kessler, who was the original founder of the ADJA. We started a chapter which is the prototype of all the chapters today. And then eventually Bruce went on to start NAME, which now I am a vice president of, and I sit on the board of directors for NAME. And also we Crossmix, I was co-founder with Bob Lindquist. We both did Crossmix. We're both Hall of Famers. But I just feel that it's something that when you've accomplished what we have or have had the tenure in this industry, it's an obligation to give back to the industry. Because the biggest advice that when I go speaking around the country to different chapters, whether they be NAME or ADJ or independent groups such as the New Jersey Disc Jockey Network or the Snap DJs in New England, I always let them know, don't believe your own press clippings. The industry is bigger than you are. You will never be bigger than this industry. So you have to remain humble.
Yes.
And if you remain humble, then all these other great things will come to you.
Absolutely. And so in writing the book, did you have a time period where you had to finish, or how long did it take you to write the book?
Well, the first book that I wrote, Performance Beyond Expectation, took me, like I said, 3 months. I was very anxious to get that out because, like I said, after the death of my granddaughter, it just really weighed heavily on my heart to get a message out to the DJs. It wasn't a book about, gee, how to make $5,000 or a new game or new dance or whatever. This was about a lot of other things that business ethics, treating your customers correctly and so on and so forth. I got the expertise of 20 or so other DJs who had 20 to 25 years experience to help me with that book. Like I said, we've updated it. That book was done in 3 months. My second book, Music from My Heart, Orchestrating Your Business and Your Life, took me over a year to do. That has been a collection of anecdotes, wisdom, life's experiences. But I wanted to write that book for anybody because, believe it or not, in the DJ business, I have found in our arena that there are people who are not confident in themselves.
Right.
They're hurting. But I wanted to also make it a universal book, and that's what prompted me to do the book. And now it can be used for anybody, for any business whatsoever, to help motivate and inspire them.
Did you have any writing background? Did you study journalism?
I studied journalism right in your backyard at Cerritos College in Norwalk.
Oh, yeah.
I'm an alumni of Cerritos College.
That's not too far.
Yeah, and what happened was that my journalism teacher, Mr. Thomas Nelson, was an inspiration to me because, believe it or not, when I was in college, he told me that my work was crap. And I was like, what are you talking about? You're a professor. I don't think you know what you're talking about. But like him and a few other people in my life, my English high school teacher and maybe one of my bosses who I worked at a men's clothing store, Norm Sloman, they were instrumental in helping me become the person that I am today. And I guess my advice that I could share with others is that if you have somebody that you can look up to, if there's a mentor, and you can learn something from them, get as much knowledge as possible. And then if they tell you, they push you and telling you that your work is garbage or what have you, it's not that they're criticizing you. They actually see the potential that you have, and they just want to be able to push you to the level that they know that you can reach.
Right. Absolutely. You've been an inspiration for me. Every time I talk to you, you always, and I mean this in a very positive way, you always ask me, when am I going to write my book? And that's always been in the back of my head. And believe me, I think I'm going to make it a goal to eventually, before I die, I'm going to write a book and talk about my memoirs. But more than that, share my knowledge of Latin music. I think that's what inspired me.
Well, I've got to tell you, Jose, I remember meeting you for the first time back at the ADJ Southern California meeting, and you were wet behind the ears, and I've seen you grow to look what you're doing now. I'm very proud of the work you've done, and I've seen you grow, and I'm extremely thrilled, not only as a Latino DJ, but just as a DJ who's taking his work seriously and taking it to another level. So that speaks volumes for you. So kudos to you, my friend. You deserve every success that comes to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, if people wanted to get a hold of the book and they wanted to buy the book, how do they do that?
They can go to my website, which is www.djraymar.com. And then I have a page on there on the Raymar books, and then how to order it. And then I will sign the books. They're $20 a copy, and I will autograph them for them and get them out within 2 business days, and they'll have a copy.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And I just got mine in the mail over the weekend, and I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Well, I appreciate you, your interest in wanting to read it.
Perfect. Excellent. Raymar, thank you very much for being a guest on our show, for your time, and we look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Well, I thank you for the invitation, and I don't know if you've gotten a hold of Stacy yet, but she is the first lady of authors of DJs, and I know that your audience will enjoy listening to her, and to my good friend Bob Lindquist, a fellow Hall of Famer. He's a great wealth of information, and I thank you for having me on the Crossfader Show.
Excellent. Thank you. You will always be a friend of the Crossfader Show, so give us a call anytime.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, all.
All right. So, wow. I'm always blown away when I talk to Raymar.
Yeah,
He's
good
got
guy.
a lot of inspiration.
Good guy. Everybody on the chat room was loving the interview as well.
Oh, good, good. Any questions as far as the chat room's concerned?
Not right now.
No. How about you, Sam House? Are you comfortable? You're good.
I'm good.
Well, that's wonderful because I'm just so happy that we're able to talk to these guys and we have a forum on how to be able to connect and discuss the exchange of ideas or talk about specific things. And if our Skype was working today, I'm sure we'll be able to talk to Stacy. And apparently, I'm still getting a no connection.
Yeah, she says she was trying to work something out here on the chat room. She says she kind of figured out what the problem might be, but it might be on her end. We're not too sure.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't we go ahead and do our picks of the week?
Let's do that.
Should we do that? Let's go ahead and ask DJ Sam House if he wants to participate. Do you want to go first, DJ Johnny Aftershock?
Go ahead, take it away.
Excellent. So, Sam House, I always want to be last. I never want to be the first one. I'll go first. All right.
There you go.
So, my pick of the week this week is a website called Squarespace.com. We've been when I started the website for the Crossfader show, we were first at Google Sites, and they have a great place to host a site. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything. But, I started noticing that there was a lot of stuff that I was very limited to. And I've been with Squarespace for a long time, ever since I started my website, djsatisfaction.com. And then when I did my Latin musicology, I also had it hosted by Squarespace. So essentially what Squarespace is, I'll go ahead and bring it up right now, is a tool to be able to host your website and a kind of like a blogging software. Everything is online, so you can log in from any computer and you could control and be able to manipulate your website. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my website right here. This is the Crossfader Show website. As you can see, it's very simple, plain, but what I like about it is that I could log in and be able to change my website. They have templates that you can try out. They have different pages that you could upload if you want a page that's just HTML, a photo gallery, kind of a blog page. You could always change it the way you want it.
Let's try Stacy one last time, Jose.
Sure. Okay.
I'm getting some word from her on the chat room.
Let's see if we can bring Stacy up.
Okay, we're gonna give it a shot, Stacy.
If you want more information, go to my website and click on the big button that says Squarespace, and you can find out. Now, if you join Squarespace, the first 2 weeks are free.
There you go.
They won't even collect a credit card, and it's a lovely, lovely experience.
Sounds good.
Stacy, I'm trying to get Stacy. No, unfortunately, nothing. How about you, Johnny Aftershock? You want to give it a stab at it as picks of the week?
Picks of the week. I'm gonna say my pick of the week is right here. That's my pick of the week, guys.
That's a monster.
Monster. You get 2 for $4 right now. And I was going to stop and get some coffee, but I think this is way better. So that's my pick of the week. Monster Energy Drink sponsorship.
Which, by the way, you left your Monster drink on my car. Remember we went to the American DJ
Did
Association? Yeah. and I don't drink energy drinks because they just make me very loopy.
Yeah.
But I have it in case you want it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
How about you, DJ Sam House? You have any picks of the week?
Well, I didn't, but since you've mentioned Squarespace, I've been working with WordPress recently.
Oh yeah.
And so a lot of the same things that you were talking about with Squarespace, you can also do with WordPress. And I've been kind of putting together a few sites. My site's kind of already done, but I've put together a few new blogs, and I built a new site for my wife. My wife is a makeup artist.
Very cool.
In LA, so I made her a new site. Her site is LA Wedding Makeup.
Oh, cool. Let's go. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at it. LA Wedding Makeup, right?
Yeah.
Makeup is one word.
Yeah.
Of course. And so you use WordPress.
So I'm using WordPress. Yeah, I started using WordPress on their site, and found that it was really user friendly, easy to use. But the host that I'm with Bluehost. And so, they have WordPress as one of the scripts that you can load onto your site. So you install WordPress onto your site, and a lot of the same things. You can log in, you can adjust things, And because it's the popular thing right now, everybody's using WordPress.
Exactly.
There's a billion of plugins and things that you can add on to it. So I'm liking it a lot.
Good. And so you can manipulate the website however you want
I
it.
built this site, LA Wedding Makeup. Initially built it in like an hour.
Cool.
Yeah.
And
it looks very slick, very nice and clean.
And what's the name of the site again?
I'm sorry?
What was the name of the site again to build it?
To build it, well, actually, it's the software that you want to load onto your own site. WordPress.
WordPress.
Yeah.
Let's see if we could bring that website up, WordPress. And how long have you been using WordPress?
I've been using that for a while now. I also have a WordPress blog that I started. There's two different types of WordPress. There's a WordPress that's hosted, I believe it's the WordPress.org, possibly. That's the one that's hosted, and you can have your blog hosted on their site. But there's another one. I'm not sure if I'm getting them right here. One's org, one's com. But one of them you can actually load onto your own site. And so, you have full control over it that way.
Excellent. Let's take a look at your website. It's djsamhouse.com, right?
djsamhouse.com. You can actually check out one of the new WordPress blogs that I've done. I've actually created 3 different ones recently. If you have djsamhouse.com there, you can add on Los Angeles DJ.
Very cool.
Got my bubble there.
Nice.
Very neat.
So you have that ability to be able to pop that bubble in and do a little video message, right?
Well, that's not WordPress. That's something else. And there's another site called Bubble Guru.
Oh,
And that's what I'm using for that. But yeah, if you want to take a look at the WordPress blog, if you're at djsamhouse.com, add on the URL there, Los Angeles DJ, all one word.
Yes, DJ. Let's see.
That'll show you one of the newer WordPress blogs that I created.
Let's take a look. Oh, nice.
Very cool.
And it's essentially like a blog, right?
Yeah. So that's one of the blogs. What I did was I had a blog hosted with Blogger.com. And what I ended up doing was always importing those into the WordPress.com one. So I had 2 going for a while. And I came across this whole concept of using WordPress to build websites and build new blogs. And so I threw this one together. You've got the djsamhouse.com/Los Angeles DJ. If you change it to Wedding DJ instead of Los Angeles DJ, it'll take you to a different blog, different theme. And what I've done is I've kind of separated my blog now into individual blogs with different themes.
Where you have categories right here? Is that what you're talking about?
No, that would take you to something else within that blog. I have a completely separate blog. So if you do djsamhouse.com/now Wedding DJ instead of Los Angeles DJ.
I like Sam. I like how you have there, not your typical Los Angeles DJ.
Yeah, that's
now you got to back that up. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
Not your typical.
I'm not typical. I'm atypical.
So it means that you could rock a club, you could rock a wedding, you could rock everything.
And I've got the keyword included in the tag so that I come up high on Google.
Very cool.
Yeah. So you see there, I've got the Wedding DJ blog. It's different theme, more wedding style theme, and I've removed all the events that are not wedding related.
I see.
And Sam, tell everybody what you're using. I'm a software guy. I love asking all our guests what is their software of choice. So what's your weapon of choice? What are you using right now?
I love Serato.
So you're using Serato with?
I use Serato Scratch with vinyl at home. I use Serato Scratch with CD DJs on gigs.
Very cool.
And I've recently started using Serato Itch, using the Vestax, the VCI 300 controller. And
with the effects unit.
And the effects unit, gotta have
Very
that.
Cool.
Yeah, before I got the effects unit, I was okay, I'm missing out because there's stuff on the mixer that I didn't have with that VCI 300.
Right.
But now that I have the effects panel as well, it's actually better than the mixer.
Now do you take the VCI? Do you take the VCI to your weddings, or do you still go with the CD decks, or do you use both?
It's now the VCI is kind of my standard equipment, and if they want me to bring turntables, it's extra.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
so the turntables are always in the car, but yeah.
I think everybody's doing that. I think everybody's saying a couple $100 extra if you want actual turntables.
Right.
They're so heavy, they're so bulky.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think with the VCI, I think it's a lot more compact, a lot more easier to manage.
I waited a long time before using some kind of software or controller method because a lot of the stuff that came out was just garbage.
Right.
And none of it worked. I know I bought a Hercules DJ controller back in the day that just did not work at all.
Right.
And I had a couple of things that, I tried at home and wasn't able to get it to a level that I was comfortable with to take it on an event.
Right.
But no, the VCI 300, that one really does the trick.
Okay, so that's our second pick of the week.
Second pick of the week. That could have been a pick of the week.
Yeah.
All right, so since we can't get Stacy on the line, we're just going to go ahead and call it a show because our whole show revolves around our important guests.
Yeah.
We're going to let you know about our current contest we have this week. Last week, our contest was basically a raffle we picked out at the American DJ Association. It was Dan Omotoye who won, so he got a $25 gift card, which he left in the room.
Dan don't got it like that. He don't need $25.
So since he lives right here, I'm just going to probably end up dropping it off or go to the local LA chapter.
There you go.
And see him. So this week, here's what we're going to have you do, guys. You're going to want to go to our YouTube channel. It's the Crossfader Show at YouTube, and I just uploaded the video segment, the Reading Rainbow homage. If you comment on the comment section your favorite book, you are in the qualifying for the contest. Okay.
Awesome.
What are we going to give away today next week, Johnny? You pick. What is it that you would like to give away?
I'm gonna direct that question over to the chat room guys. Guys, what do you guys want? I mean, let's keep it. Don't say you want the VCI 300 because it's not gonna happen.
Exactly. Let's keep it affordable because our budget is very limited.
Yes, sir.
so
I'll go ahead. I'll direct it to the chat room guys, and then we'll go from there.
Excellent. So I'm thinking, something very nice but not too expensive. So go to the YouTube channel. It's public right now. It's up right now. Go ahead and comment. Say what's your favorite book, and if you do, next week we'll pick a random person to be able to win that prize.
Sounds good.
Excellent. Anything else that we forgot that we leave? Let's go ahead and give Stacy
one last shot.
One last shot.
Come on, Stacy.
I don't think she's online, but let's go ahead and give it to her connecting. No, I don't think it's working.
We got our fingers crossed.
Sorry. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and call this one short. Ladies, how do people get a hold of you, DJ Johnny Aftershock?
Google me. Google me.
Just find me on Google, and eventually Google will point to you.
There you go.
How about you, DJ Sam House? How do people get a hold of you?
You can Google me too. And just Google Los Angeles DJ. I'll be on the top.
Excellent. And you have the Ustream show that you do every Thursday?
Every Thursday night. But starting tonight, I'm actually doing a live stream from Kyoto Grand Hotel and Garden.
Perfect.
Downtown. That'll be starting probably around 6 o'clock and go until 10. And we're going to be doing that 6 nights a week, every night but Saturday. So definitely come out, check us out. We'll be down there. You can come and say hi, come visit.
I'll definitely be on there, believe me. And, of course, you can always get a hold of me at info@djsatisfaction.com. Follow us on Twitter under Crossfader Show. We have a Facebook fan page. You can become a fan on the Crossfader Show and, of course, our YouTube channel. Guys, it was a real pleasure having you here, DJ Sam House, DJ Johnny Aftershock. A big thank you to DJ Raymar. And, of course, Robert Lindquist, the very cool Robert Lindquist. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Crossfader Show fading out.
Thank you for watching the Crossfader Show. Watch us live at thecrossfadershow.com every Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.